Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk. My man Joe Sexton to my left, as always. Colton Coons behind the camera, taking care of us as always, and puts a lot into these shows and brings them to you. So, and we appreciate, always that cell phones are silenced on these shows. It's always a plus, positive. So, with that, we move on.
You make one mistake.
All good. It's just jokes. Okay, so there's a lot to get into with you, Coach Sexton. We'll rip the Band-Aid off quickly about last Friday night. Seminole is... You've seen Bushland in a scrimmage. I knew they were very good, but you probably see the best team your kids have seen really since you've been at Liberty.
Yes.
It doesn't go well in Seminole last Friday night, but this is a team that expected to go 3, 4, 5 rounds deep in the playoffs, and they certainly looked at last Friday.
They'll be in the regional final. I can't really see anybody getting in their way. Okay. They're for real. And it's across the board. A lot of times, you see some good teams and they would have a great offense, and their defense is not great. But I didn't really see any weaknesses in those guys. I mean, there was not anything that we did that, we scored a couple of times, and there wasn't anything that I saw that's going to be a problem unless they run into better athletes.
And in games like that, obviously the score gets a bit lopsided, but in games like that, how do you handle it after the fact with your team? There's always things to pull, good or bad, from any game. Is there anything that you felt like, okay, I liked this, or hey man, let's just move past this one and move on? Like, how do you?
We try to find the good,
okay,
and no matter what. No matter what happens. And one of the positive things that that came out of that game, one of my position guys that I coach is Jacob Key, and he had a long run at the end of the game, and I was extremely happy for him. And he's been biding his time on the sidelines, and he got his opportunity and seized it. So I was really happy for him. I thought our secondary, you're not going to see it on the stats, but I thought our secondary played pretty well as far as coverage goes. They had 3 long plays, and I'm pretty sure we had them covered up, but they just made plays.
And sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah,
players make plays. Yeah.
So, then just them getting to see how a really, really good football team goes about things. So there were some good things that we did. And we got out of it.
Yeah, and that's your fourth, your 4 games into the season. That's your 4th road trip. 2 of them much longer than the other 2.
Right.
And now we finally get to say that the bus trip will be a bit short or non-existent.
We're coming home
for this Friday night. You are coming home. In fact, there's a homecoming. I know that Joe is particularly excited about that. All the homecoming festivities. I kid because the homecoming for a football coach is a one, or can be a lot of distractions for a football team, and that's what as a coach, you try to eliminate distractions. But your bucket overflow with distraction possibilities this week.
There's a lot.
And you knew this was coming. This was what everybody's been waiting for, just a home game, debuting a new stadium and all those things. Okay, so let's talk about all of that. We'll just get to the stadium last, but let's go through. So you actually have practiced in your indoor facility this week?
Our freshmen did.
Okay.
So the first morning,
I talked to you one day, and you were like, "Oh, we raised the deals up.
Right.
It was beautiful."
The first morning, first Monday that we were moving our freshmen in, we got started late because we were getting their locker room set up. So instead of just running them outside, we just were like, hey, let's just put them in the indoor and let them go. And so we just had a little short practice with our freshmen in the indoor and popped open the garage doors and overhead doors, and it was awesome. It was really, really
king of the castle.
And yesterday I was seeing clouds starting to build up, and in the last year and a half, anytime that's happened, I start getting real nervous because if it starts lightning, we either have to go to the gym or we have to cancel practice. But I was saying, bring it on.
Never again.
Nope.
Yeah,
never again.
Never again do you have to worry about it. You've got to be the most well-traveled, walked. I'm trying to think of like
about 19,000 steps a day.
I mean, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, like that new home game. It's like, Coach, man, you're gonna have to dress in this gym and walk away. Pfft, you have no idea, man.
Nah,
yeah,
we're good.
You could have built that or put that dress gym like a mile away, and we would have walked it and been just pretty normal. But all that is
it's done. It's
thankfully
over.
in the past. So, okay, you mentioned indoor, breaking the seal on that. Now, the field house, locker room, offices, kind of give me the update there before we move
So
on to
all three teams are in their locker rooms.
like their actual locker rooms.
Their actual locker rooms.
Okay.
And we have everybody on each team in one locker room. So our varsity has their locker room, our JV has their locker room, and then our freshman team has their locker room. And
Okay.
so there's not kids scattered, playing on this team, but in this locker room.
Because you were in classrooms.
Right, because we didn't have enough room, so we had to have a couple of the kids dressed in the JV locker room, but they were actually on varsity. And
How bad does that classroom that was the locker room, how bad does it smell?
it's gonna take some. It's gonna take some work.
Okay. I mean, and the beautiful thing is, a new locker room, it's probably going to smell just like,
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great
that's
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
Once we get down the road a little bit, it might change.
Yeah,
So it was a smooth transition. We had all the kids bring their stuff. We actually brought the varsity in Saturday morning after the Seminole game, and so they all showed up, and I was sitting in the locker room when they were coming in. It was really fun to see their faces when they walked in that locker room, because it's a big locker room. We have a lot of room, and we have not had a lot of room in the last year and then half of this year, and so they were really excited. Of course, I think one of them asked me, "Is this really our locker room?"
Yeah.
And then somebody else asked me, "Well, is varsity and JV in here?" I mean, that's how big this room is. So,
Well, because your roster will grow.
Yes.
And it's meant
Yes.
to
we're gonna have
handle
room
that.
to expand as we go.
Yeah,
so.
to handle that. Okay, and then obviously stadium. A lot of anticipation there, Patriot Stadium. And help me out here if I screw anything up here, but I think it holds, 12?
I think it's around 10.
10, okay.
10,000.
Okay. But it's got updated sound system and, state-of-the-art video board and all that stuff, similar to Pirate Stadium and all that stuff. I know it holds more than Pirate Stadium does, just by a little bit, because there's some sections on the ends that it just goes a bit further.
Right.
But that's got to be a lot of fun. You've practiced there, that's normal, but never.
I wish
Played
we
a
would
game.
have had a time lapse camera set up just to see.
That would have been a great project there's a guy in our department, you know him too, Colton Coons. If we could have thought about that would have been a really good idea.
That
We
would have
probably
been
that's our first turnover here at Patriot Stadium. We've that's a fumble.
I
We
would
should
have
probably
liked
done
to
that.
see from Cottonfield or whatever.
Oh
it
yeah,
was
no.
to-
Oh no, now you're talking like a live cam. Okay, I'll take
Right.
the onus
Just
off
to
of Colton
see
for
it
that.
go from this to, we've had some drone pictures of when they started putting the track in.
Oh, yeah,
you
okay.
can see the diagram in the.
You're talking about like a camera that just would have been posted up permanently.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see the changes from the beginning till now.
Yeah, that would have been fascinating. I'm sorry, Colton. I didn't really mean that. ELE, man. Everybody love everybody. But that would have been a great idea. Yeah, to see
Well,
something like that.
We always think about those great ideas.
I know after the fact. Yeah,
I would
after
have been a
the fact.
millionaire if I would have done all.
It's all about the execution of great ideas, though, right?
I know.
Yeah. I'll ask you something similar about the stadium as we roll along here, but take me through the dynamic of actually playing a home game. What does that do to your routine? Because you've never done this before.
Right.
So even your home games last year, either at Pirate Stadium or at the middle school, do you have any kind of routine
Right.
that you'll...
Well, we're gonna stick to what we've been doing. You know, we're first group's out at 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. So we kind of stagger those. So, you know, we get everybody out on the field. I guess it's really going to start as soon as the bell rings to get out of class. At the end of the day, we'll bring them down. We feed them a little pregame meal. Then we'll have our break up into our individual meetings, and then have an offense meeting and a defensive meeting, and kind of meet with those coaches and just get any last minute questions that they may have knocked out. And you know, by that time it's already time to start taping, and so we get kids taped up and get them out on the field. And so really our routine doesn't change that much. I know we've got a lot going on. As soon as we leave the field at 6:30, that's when the fireworks begin. There's going to be lots of stuff going on, and luckily we're not going to have to, you know, everybody has been very accommodating to us on just being able to stick to our routine.
So pregame festivities start at 6?
I think so. I think that's when everybody's supposed to be to the stadium. I think they actually, most of that stuff starts when we leave the field.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
See, that's what I love about my man, Coach Sexton. He's just brutally honest. Full transparency right here. Sometimes no filter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we want. But it's a fun night for a lot of people, not just you and your players, but just everybody associated with the school and parents that have been driving all over the place to road games. Now get to have
we've logged a few
yes,
miles.
You have. Yeah, I wish they were airline miles and you got to like bank them and use them for something. But it's not how it works. Right. But those buses of yours will be parked safely in a parking lot somewhere. You don't need to use those.
No. Well,
and you could be home maybe by 11 o'clock that night or something, God willing.
Well, pretty close.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's with the focus on the game. Fort Stockton, another member of this district that you've just almost played the whole district. Fort Stockton comes in at 4-0. It's funny because like the LCISD, the district of Lubbock Cooper, it's like Fort Stockton is like a home away from home, has been for many years.
For a long time.
Because the old high school has played baseball there, basketball there, volleyball there for playoffs when you're playing in those first rounds. And so you've been to Fort Stockton many, many times. But you're going to get the Panthers coming to your place. They're 4-0. Take me through what challenges that they will pose.
Well, first off, Coach Hickman was awesome.
Because they know the funny thing, they know you guys. They know this everybody here.
So I just, when we were setting up our schedule, I had to, Mr. Bryant told me to stay away a few weeks until we can get the stadium. So when it came time,
and it's needed every minute.
Every minute of it, no doubt.
Yes.
So I called Coach Hickman and was just like, "Hey, is there any way we could, do a home game?" And he's been so accommodating as far as just.
Oh, so this is just a one-time?
No.
Oh,
no, at our place.
I see.
And then we'll go to their place next year. But
gotcha.
Just on his schedule, he was needing a home game at this point, and I was just like, is there any way that you guys could come to Lubbock? And he was, like I said, very accommodating and made it happen. And he just told me his kids are excited about getting to play in a brand new stadium.
Sure.
And
Fort Stockton has great facilities.
Kind of like when the Giants came into Cowboy Stadium and got to play that first game in there.
That's right. AT&T Stadium. Yeah.
I hope the result's a little bit different this time. But
what didn't Eli Manning sign on the wall? Yeah. Man, it's great memory there. That's awesome. Yeah. But it's got to be cool for opposition too. But Fort Stockton has great facilities, and there's so many Cooper teams or LCIC teams that have played there. And I guess you'll be headed out there next year.
Yes.
You'll be home for a month, and then the first road trip will be.
Our freshman and JV will head out there tomorrow about noon.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Because it's It's a
3.5.
hike now. Yeah, it's a hike. Tell me about their team. They're going to come in and throw it, and they've got a really good quarterback that's, I don't know, averaging about 260 yards a game or something. But kind of take me
I
through
don't
the
think
dynamic.
they're gonna. I say this. I don't think we're gonna see the vertical passing game that we saw last week. I think we're probably gonna see more of the short, controlled passes.
And make you tackle.
Right. Just make you come up and tackle, and then when you kind of go to sleep, they'll probably try to hit you deep. But they're not really wanting to do that. Their quarterback, like you said, is a good player, and
Cash Norman, Kasch. I've never seen that spelled like that before.
I think he's the defense coordinator's son.
Okay.
So, they're great on defense too. Mainly a 4-man front on defense. They're solid there. So it's going to be a challenge for us for sure.
And do you do anything differently game planning wise with this? Being at home or anything, or you just kind of play your game?
Nope. We're gonna do what
run
we
your
do.
Stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna run our stuff and just we just need to bring a little bit more intensity than we've had the last 2 weeks, and I think playing in front of a home crowd I think that's going to happen.
Provide that, yeah.
And somebody asked me this morning, did I think that the kids are going to be like shell shocked or anything? Like, after all that we've been through, all the changes that we've been through, I don't see them being shell shocked about anything.
No, and if anything, I think what we talked about earlier, you're going to have to keep some of them from trying to do too much.
Right.
Like I was doing my job and his, and then that's when a mistake happens.
That's when it happens.
Yeah,
no
that's
doubt.
right. Okay, so we don't forget we'll have full coverage of this game on the LCISD YouTube channel. Colton, who we mentioned, he's behind the camera. We were joking earlier, but he does a phenomenal job with the camera work and his crew and all that. So if you can't make it to this game,
you mad and he quits.
Joe, who's running this thing? Okay. Anyway, he's not going to quit. It's all kidding. Colton's good people. So is Coach Sexton most of the time. LCISD YouTube channel. If you can't be there, coverage will start at 6:30, 6:45. We'll have full coverage of it, and it will also be on the radio, audio-wise, 93.1. If you can't be at this game and you can't get in front of YouTube or whatever, there is an app that you can download, 93.1 Yes FM, and you can listen to it wherever you may be. Okay, so now we're going to play three things with Coach Sexton.
Oh, my favorite game.
Yeah, and I think it is fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
With the fair being in town, you probably hadn't had any time to even pay attention to that.
I didn't know the fair was here.
Exactly. There's lots of cars going on over there off I-27 over there near Marcia Sharp I-27. Lots of activity going on with the fair and everything like that last week in September, which we are now in. If I give you $25 at the fair and I say you must purchase 3 food items, you will purchase what?
First thing is a corn dog.
Okay.
That's
It's a layup.
That's my all-time favorite.
Okay.
After a corn dog, I'm probably going to be forced to buy my daughter a turkey leg.
This is for you. We can actually get to her. We can get to Riley in a little bit.
There's really no...
So corn dog, what else?
You're a dad. You know how this works.
Yeah, that's right.
Corn dog. I really like lemonade. I would probably get I think they have a good strawberry lemonade. I would probably get that.
Of course you would just not get a regular lemonade. Of course yours would be a strawberry lemonade.
Have a fruity drink there.
Sure. Okay. What else? Something sweet?
I'm not a big fan of the funnel cakes.
Almost had it. We almost had the trifecta.
Yeah, I would go off the funnel cake.
So it would be a what?
Last time I was there a long time ago, I had one of the best Frito pies that I've ever had.
I like it. You double protein.
Yeah.
Skip the dessert, double protein. That's why you look like you do. Yeah, very well.
Correct.
But no fried Snickers or Twinkies or fried Reese's peanut butter cup.
I love a good Snicker and a...
No kettle corn?
No.
You're a popcorn guy, too.
Yeah, I do like popcorn.
Okay.
No, I would probably go with Frito pie.
I'm trying to talk you into, but you stuck with your guns.
I don't think I've ever had a fried Snicker or a fried Oreo or any of that.
Okay.
Just really doesn't appeal to me all that much.
Okay, how about this? Make you think a little bit. 3 places that you've never been before that you will definitely see in your lifetime. Like you will, I'm gonna get to or visit these places in my lifetime, but you've never been before.
Scotland.
Like it. Is this like St. Andrews?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That is at the top of the list.
Somehow
right
I knew that may be the reason.
You know, there's a golf course or something
over
there.
Yeah, that's right.
I've heard it's pretty famous.
Where it was invented.
So Scotland would be number one. I would really like to try the Bahamas. I've never been to the Bahamas, so I would like to try that, and Hawaii.
Never been to Hawaii.
Never been to Hawaii.
Okay.
You know, I'm not until I went to Ireland not too long ago. I've never really been on a plane longer than, you know, from here to Florida or something like that. Yeah. So long plane rides, you know.
What's Hawaii? 7 hours?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
So
worth it.
Oh yeah. I've heard from several.
And if you go to Maui. Yeah.
Well, I would like to try those 3 places out.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Well, I knew you'd have some good answers. Now, my last one ties into this is fun because with the opening of new Patriot Stadium in mind, your 3. This is your opinion, but you're the 3 most historic, iconic, favorite. You describe it. Sports venues that currently exist. Doesn't matter the sport. I just want them. They have to be currently in existence.
Well, I guess the first one that comes to mind would be probably Wrigley Field.
Okay, that's one.
You know, that's been
for the baseball purists out there. That or Fenway, yeah, sure.
You know, I grew up going to the old Texas Stadium.
I know. I would have.
With the big hole in the roof.
Right.
So that would probably be one, and then I guess
I said currently in existence, Joe.
No.
Because it was. I used to go to Reunion Arena in Texas Stadium all the time as a kid, watch us to Arlington Stadium and all that, but they don't stand anymore, unfortunately, which makes me really sad.
Yeah. You know, I think that Boston Garden, is that still?
Nope.
It's gone too.
Gone. So the original one. Now it's the TD Garden Arena or something.
I think I just showed my basketball.
No, that's okay. But I mean, I appreciate the thought.
Madison Square Garden.
That's definitely still there, and that's I mean, the world's most famous arena.
Yeah.
I mean, it massive renovation while they're still hosting events. Don't know how they did it, but that's a good call there. Is there another golf venue that you've never seen up close that you would want to see? Well, St. Andrews is obviously about as historic as it's
you know, there's a bunch of them in Scotland and in Europe that I'm gonna really try to get to here pretty quick. You know, Carnoustie's a famous golf course.
I wish I knew how to spell it, but yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I just wanted to pick your brain there a little bit. But
you know, I'm kind of open. I'll go wherever.
Sure, I got you. Well, man, I hope you and your kids and all your staff just enjoys the festivities on Friday night.
Well, that's going to be a message that we talk about too. Is just enjoy it.
Smell the roses, man.
You know, no matter what happens, you know. Nobody's ever going to take away that you were the first football team to play in that stadium.
Yeah, so that's right.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great advice, and hopefully it comes out with a dub. I know that's something that you guys are working toward and aiming for and all that stuff. But okay, so we'll wrap this up. We appreciate Coach Sexton for his time. He's had a crazy busy week. He spent some time with us today. We certainly appreciate it. So for Colton Coons, for Joe Sexton, the head coach of the Patriots, this is Chris Level. This has been another edition of Patriot Talk.